I became more interested in phones and how they perform as a result of playing a lot of games. Back in the day when I used to play FIFA Mobile, I was surprised to see my friend's phone, which had less than 2 gigabytes of RAM, playing the game smoothly, while my phone with 2 gigabytes of RAM struggled. Then I realized that RAMs are useless in the absence of a good processor to utilize the space. I started playing Call of Duty Mobile in 2020. The first 3 phones I used were completely crap. They were never complete. There was a time I focused on getting a phone with a good processor, but I ended up getting phones with small batteries that could not even play a single team dead match before they give up. And they also overheat a lot. Apart from getting a phone with large RAM, large storage, and a good processing unit, gamers nowadays also have to consider a phone with a responsive display that supports 120Hz or higher refresh rate, a large battery that also supports fast charging, advanced cooling system, liquid cooling or vapor chamber tech to prevent overheating during intense gaming sessions, a phone with good audio and also has a room for headphone jack, a good connectivity and durability. It is not an easy task to find a phone that has all these features. It is even more difficult, especially if you don't have much to spend. This video will provide the best gaming phone you can get in 2025 for both high budget and low budget buyers. I'm not talking about casual games, not Candy Crush or Subway Surfers. I'm talking about heavy games like Genshin Impact, Warzone Mobile, eFootball, Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG and the like. This phone that I'm going to recommend, they won't lag, which means you can compete with no issue. So let's get straight into it. Let's start with the big boys, the high-end gaming phones. These are the absolute best when it comes to performance, and if you want the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience possible, this is where you'll find it. But of course, top tier performance comes at a top tier price. These phones are very expensive, no doubt. If you can afford them, you are getting the best mobile gaming experience money can buy. Some of the standouts in this category are the ASUS ROG Phone 9 Pro, Nubia Red Magic 10 Pro, OnePlus 13, Galaxy S24 Ultra, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, here is the thing. Phones like iPhone 16 Pro Max and the Galaxy S24 Ultra are premium all-rounder. They don't just focus on gaming, they also compete heavily in areas like camera quality, design, display productivity, and day-to-day performance. They are built to be great at everything. But when it comes to dedicated gaming performance, phones like ROG Phone 9 Pro and Red Magic 10 Pro have the edge. Why? Because they are built specifically for gaming. They feature advanced cooling system like vapor chamber or even active cooling fan to keep the phone from overheating during intense gaming sessions. They offer high refresh rate, sometimes up to 165 Hz for ultra smooth visual. You get a dedicated shoulder trigger that acts like a gamepad button, which gives you a big advantage in shooters and action games. These phones even support external accessories like clip-on cooling fan and physical controller for better comfort and control. And with built-in game tools, you can monitor your FPS, your CPU or GPU usage, battery temperature, and more while gaming. That is exactly what every gamer wants, right? The power, the control, the smoothness, it's all there. But in reality, not everyone can afford these monsters. The prices of this phone can buy a piece of land or even start a business. But don't worry, if you are on the budget, I've got you covered too. So let's move to the best budget gaming phones that still deliver great performance without burning a hole in your wallet. Infinix GT 20 Pro is the easiest phone to recommend when it comes to gaming on a budget. This phone is like a budget ASUS ROG Phone 9. This phone has a gaming design, a cyber mecha design with a C-shaped LED at the back. They call it a mecha loop LED. The phone looks and feels like a gaming phone. They kept the size at a moderate 6.7-inch AMOLED display with a 144 Hz refresh rate that make it so smooth. On the inside, we have the MediaTek Dimensity 8200 Ultimate chip built on a 4nm process. There is also a dedicated display chip, the Pixelwork X5 Turbo. This gaming display chip allows the device to boost the frame rate from 60 fps to 120 fps. You can play PUBG Mobile at a 120 fps on this phone. Ultra frame rate when your graphics is set to low in Call of Duty Mobile. With very high graphics, you can play at max frame rate. The X Arena app is also provided to improve your gaming. You can screen record from this app. You can even enable bypass charging if you need to charge while gaming. The vapor chamber is large, resulting in a good heat management. If you are someone who plays games for a longer period, you might want to get an external cooler. It provides more cooling for a longer period. You might also want to consider a shooting triggers if you are playing games like Call of Duty Mobile to have the best experience. This phone comes with Android 14 last year in 2024. Hopefully it gets up to Android 16, and it also has a 5000 mAh battery. The brand new Infinix GT20 cost around 540,000 naira. The used Infinix GT20 Pro goes for around 280k to 300,000 naira, which I think it is a fantastic option for some people. POCO X6 Pro is another performance beast that will give you a performance that is very close to flagship phones, but you won't be paying flagship price. I won't say it is an absolute budget phone because this phone brand new cost around 560,000 naira for 512GB version. Honestly, I don't think this phone is overpriced. Considering the performance and the overall package, it is just at the right price. You can even get the used version for as low as 370k to 380k if you opt for the used one. The impressive thing about this phone is the Dimensity 8300 Ultra chip. This chip flies. Imagine playing games without frame drop with a 5000 mAh battery that is solid and fast to charge, and a display that will treat your eye well with the 1.5K display that is sharper than 1080p, that refreshes at 120Hz HDR10 Plus with Dolby Vision and 1800 nit peak brightness. Call of Duty Mobile is well optimized on this phone. It performs better than the Infinix GT20 Pro. This phone can handle medium graphics at ultra frame rate, and as usual, the frame rate goes back to max when the graphics is set to very high. The cooling system is fantastic. The storage is up to 512GB with either 8 or 12GB of RAM. It comes with Android 14, and Xiaomi promised 3 years of OS updates with Hyper OS. POCO X7 is now available also if you can get it, but I think the POCO X6 Pro sits in the right position. The price has come down a little bit after the release of the POCO X7 Pro. The POCO F6 has gained attention as a flagship killer, offering features and performance that rivals more expensive smartphones. Based on the various reviews, but this phone is equipped with Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 processor, and POCO F6 delivers smooth and responsive performance suitable for seamless gameplay in titles like Genshin Impact, Call of Duty Warzone, Call of Duty Mobile, and PUBG. The device features a 6.67-inch AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate, providing vibrant visual and fluid scrolling. While the POCO F6 sports a functional design with a plastic body, it includes practical features like IP68 dust and water resistant and Gorilla Glass Victor's protection, enhancing its durability. Consistent frame rate in Call of Duty multiplayer mode plus a solid 90 fps in Battle Royale. The device supports medium graphics setting at ultra frame rate and very high graphics setting at a max frame rate. POCO X6 cooling system effectively manages it during longer gaming sessions, maintaining performance without significant heat up. 5000 mAh battery, it supports 90W fast charging, allowing for full charge in approximately 30 minutes. On the software side, this device is running Android 14 with Hyper OS, and in 2025, this phone is sitting around 400,000 to 480k. If I had to choose between this phone and the Infinix GT20, I would rather go for the Infinix GT20 Pro because it is more appealing and it is more cheap, and the performance is similar. What can you say about the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra gaming performance in 2025? I like recommending this phone because of the Snapdragon 865 processor inside it. A good chip, more optimized for gaming. I would say it is more efficient than the AAA Snapdragon or even Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 that tends to eat up too much while gaming. But the Snapdragon 865 seems to handle things pretty well. The Note 20 Ultra isn't the only phone with this chip. but you will enjoy the advantage of a large, sharp, dynamic AMOLED display, 12GB of RAM, and a battery that is still efficient. Another incredible thing about this phone is its price. In 2025, 480,000 naira for the used version, while the brand new is sitting around 520k. POCO F4 GT is another good option if you are on a low budget. It is under 300k and it is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. What do you guys think about all this gaming phone? Share your opinion in the comment section below, and if you find this video helpful, you consider subscribing to this channel and like this video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be the first anytime we drop a new video. Catch you guys in the next one.